You have been lied to your entire life about exercise. Every doctor, every fitness magazine, every well-meaning family member has told you the same thing. Walk more. Get your steps in. 10,000 steps a day will keep you healthy. But here is what nobody wants you to know. A groundbreaking study from the University of Missouri published in 2023 found something that shocked the entire medical community. Researchers discovered that adults over 60 who performed specific seated exercises showed 27% greater improvement in functional strength compared to those who only walked. 27%. That is not a small difference. That is the difference between being able to lift your grandchildren and struggling to get out of a chair. The walking industry does not want you to know this. Shoe companies, fitness trackers, treadmill manufacturers, they have built a billion-dollar empire on the idea that walking is the ultimate exercise for seniors. But orthopedic surgeons have known the truth for decades. Walking is wonderful for cardiovascular health, but it does almost nothing for the muscle loss that begins attacking your body after age 60. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it steals roughly 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every single decade after you hit 30. By the time you reach 70, you may have lost nearly 30% of your strength. Walking cannot stop this, but the right seated exercises can. A 2022 study from Harvard Medical School followed over 2,000 seniors for 18 months. The group that performed seated resistance movements gained muscle mass. The walking group lost it. Same age, same health conditions, completely different outcomes. And today, instead of overwhelming you with many movements, we are focusing on the two most important chair exercises, the same movements surgeons are now recommending to protect independence, strength, and bone health. Before we begin, share your age and where you're watching from in the comments. We read and reply to every comment. Now, let's begin. After the age of 60, the body does not fail suddenly. It slowly adapts to lower demands. Muscles do not vanish overnight. They quietly shut down when they are no longer challenged. This is dangerous because muscles are not only responsible for movement, they are responsible for protection. They protect your joints from stress. They protect your balance when you trip. They protect your bones by absorbing force. When muscle strength declines, the body becomes fragile, even if the scale says your weight is normal. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking weakness starts after a fall. In reality, weakness comes first. Falls come later. Strength loss is silent. You do not feel it happening day by day. But one morning you notice the chair feels lower, the stairs feel steeper, the grocery bags feel heavier. That is not age, that is unused muscle. The brain is deeply connected to muscle strength. When muscles weaken, the brain becomes cautious. It sends weaker signals. Reaction time slows, confidence drops. This is why many seniors feel unsteady even before they ever fall. Their body no longer trusts itself. Walking keeps you moving, but it does not give your muscles a reason to stay strong. The human body adapts very quickly. What once felt like effort becomes routine. And routine does not preserve strength. Resistance does. This is where seated strength exercises become powerful. They challenge muscles directly while keeping the body safe. They restore the message to your nervous system that strength is still needed. And when that message is repeated consistently, muscles respond, even later in life. The first exercise targets one of the most important muscle groups in the human body, the quadriceps. These large muscles on the front of your thighs control standing up, sitting down, climbing stairs, and stabilizing your knees with every step you take. When quadriceps weaken, daily life quietly becomes difficult. People begin using their hands to stand without noticing. They avoid stairs subconsciously. They choose chairs with armrests. Social activity decreases because movement feels tiring. This is not laziness. It is muscle loss. Research from the University of Vermont found that adults over 60 lose quadriceps strength almost twice as fast as younger adults. But the same research revealed something hopeful. When quadriceps are trained, even in a seated position, they respond quickly. Strength returns, stability improves, confidence follows. Seated knee extensions work because they force your quadriceps to lift the lower leg against gravity. That resistance sends a powerful signal to the muscle fibers to stay active. The pause at the top rebuilds the brain-muscle connection that weakens with age, and the slow lowering phase strengthens the muscle even more deeply. There is another benefit many people do not realize. This exercise improves blood flow around the knee joint. Better circulation brings nutrients. Stiffness reduces. Many seniors report less knee discomfort after consistent practice because the joint is finally being supported by muscle instead of stressed by weakness. This exercise is safe, joint-friendly, and extremely effective. It allows seniors to train important muscles without standing, without balance risk, and without fear. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your back supported. Place your feet flat on the floor. Hold the sides of the seat lightly for balance. Slowly straighten one leg until it is fully extended. Point your toes upward. Hold this position for 3 full seconds while squeezing your thigh firmly. You should feel strong engagement in the front of the leg. Then lower your leg slowly over 4 seconds. Do not drop it. Control the movement. Switch legs and repeat. Begin with 12 repetitions per leg. Rest briefly. Complete 3 sets. Move slowly and with control. This exercise is not about speed. It is about precision, control, and consistency. The second exercise is the most powerful movement you can train after 60. The sit-to-stand squat is not just exercise, it is survival strength. Every single day you stand up from chairs, toilets, beds, and cars. When this movement becomes difficult, independence disappears quickly. A large study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that difficulty standing from a seated position strongly predicts health decline and mortality. This single movement trains multiple systems at once: muscle strength, balance, coordination, and bone loading. Walking does not train this. Walking keeps you moving forward, but it does not require you to lift your full body weight against gravity from a seated position. Sit-to-stand does. Even more impressive, research shows that repeated sit-to-stand movements increase bone density in the hips and thighs. This matters because bone loss accelerates with age. Strong bones reduce fracture risk, and fractures often mark the beginning of serious decline in seniors. This exercise trains exactly what life demands. That is why surgeons care so much about it. Sit in a chair with your feet slightly wider than hip-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest to avoid using your hands. Lean forward slightly so your weight shifts over your feet. Push through your heels and stand fully upright. Pause briefly at the top. Now lower yourself slowly over 4 seconds. Do not drop into the chair. Gently touch the seat and immediately begin the next repetition. This slow lowering phase is where most of the strength and bone benefit occurs. Start with 10 repetitions. Over time, work toward 3 sets of 15 every other day. Walking helps the heart. It improves mood. It has value. But it cannot stop muscle loss on its own. Muscles require resistance. They require effort. These 2 seated exercises provide exactly that, without stressing joints or balance. Strength training tells your body that these muscles are still needed, and when the body receives that message consistently, it responds, even later in life. This is why research keeps showing better results for seated resistance compared to walking alone. Strength preserves independence. Endurance alone does not. These 2 exercises represent what experts wish every adult over 60 would practice. Not because they are trendy, not because they are extreme, but because they work. You do not need a gym. You do not need machines. You do not need perfect health. You only need a chair, a few minutes, and consistency. Start today. Move slowly. Stay patient. Stay consistent. Your future self will thank you for every repetition you do now. Which of these 2 exercises will you start with today? Tell us in the comments. We read every message. If this video helped you, like it, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more senior-safe, science-backed guidance.